I would always suggest that you cook your own food versus eating out, because when you eat out, they can be putting anything in your food. They're not really hip to the fact that you're trying to lose weight.
Cook your own food as much as possible. That way you have more control over what's put in it. You control your salt intake when you cook yourself. And you can also control your portion sizes. Sometimes you eat out, they give you way more than you really need. And most people will just eat it.
I would tell people that they've got to learn how to make their own food. If they're going to eat out, they need to eat out in a place that makes their food, like right in front of you, and that's using local, fresh ingredients that are not contaminated and don't come out of a plastic bag. It's a big endeavor to do it, but it's totally worth it, and it will change you forever.
10 times out of 10, cook your own food. There's only so many times where you can look at a menu and they can tell you that something is healthy. But honestly, if you're not back in the kitchen, if you're not watching them make it, and you're not cooking it yourself, you honestly just don't know. When you cook your own food, you're able to measure it out exactly how you want it. You're able to look at the products and the ingredients to know what you're eating. And if you're consistently making your own food every day, you can now go back in and look at consistencies. Look at your workout schedule. Is that the same? Well, look at your meals and what you ate. Is that the same? When you're doing all that, now you're like, you know what? I'm on the right track. I'm losing weight. So then, if you do decide to go out to eat and what you think you're selecting are the healthy meal options, and you notice a difference, well, maybe the difference is before that you were making your own food. The other reason why you should make your own food is because you don't want to be tempted. There's so many times we go out to a restaurant and they say, do you want dessert? Well, heck yeah, we all want dessert, but honestly, you don't need dessert. You won't be tempted for dessert when you're in your own house because you shouldn't even have it in your cabinet. You shouldn't have those foods that are tempting you to eat bad. So I always say, make your own food.
I would really recommend having people make their own meals instead of eating out for two reasons. Number one, it teaches you to be disciplined and teaches you how to kind of identify what's in the food. A lot of times when you go to a restaurant, you don't know the exact content of the meal. And if you do, it's usually not that good, where the calories are higher than they should be, or the carbs are higher than they should be, or the unhealthy fats or processed fats are higher than they should be. Whereas if you make all your own food, it's a lot easier to know exactly what you're putting in your body. So whenever possible, I always say that people should definitely try to make their own food.
Ordering in a restaurant, I suggest don't do it, but if you have to, buy a salad, buy it plain. No dressing, no oils of any nature, just regular plain old salad. That's what I do. If I absolutely must eat at a restaurant, I just get regular plain salad with no dressing, no cheese, no croutons. Just give me the vegetables, give me the fruit, that's it. That's my spiel on that.
Like I said, when you're in a restaurant, stick to vegetables, salads. If you're going to have a salad, have a portion of a salad. Like Ayurveda says that we should eat, our meals should be 2 cupped hands. For each meal, we should eat 2 of our own cupped hands. So that's how much salad, if you eat salad in a restaurant, that's how much you're allowed to eat. Consider your portions, like ask them to give you a side plate. And if you order something, put your portion on that side plate, and that's what you can eat. You can eat almost anything in a meal as long as you stick to that portion. And so just when you're ordering a restaurant, think about a small portion and stick mainly to chicken, shrimp, and vegetables, because any other foods are going to be packed with cheeses and fats and oils and salt and all that stuff. If you can just stay away from it, you're going to do yourself a big favor.
I like people to look at salads and to look at side dishes as well, because while there may be a dish that looks great, part of it is really not healthy. So I tend to look at the side dishes and go, oh, well, I could put these vegetables together with this baked potato, and I could order a side of fish if I want to have fish, or a side salad. Those are, my bigger recommendations. And I always make sure that I ask what are the ingredients in the food. It takes a little bit of time to find out, but it's worth it.
When I'm in restaurants, I would say look for like the low fat diet section, the low calorie section. Barring that, order food steamed. Steamed is usually, I think, best because there's less. There are no oils involved, no cooking, things that are added to it when you cook in other ways.
In a restaurant, I usually try to order things that have the most fresh ingredients. So what I mean by that is that there's some foods in restaurants that are a lot easier to be prepared in advance, or they have things that are highly processed. So if there's a lot of cheese, or if there's a lot of red meat, or there's a lot of sauces, I try to stay away from those things. I'll try to get a salad. They're usually pretty good with a lighter dressing. Again, I don't go to restaurants that much because I can make something that's much better and usually cheaper, and usually more nutritious.